What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, New York Sports Central. Thanks for clicking and tuning in. And today we're going to be talking about how last night the Rangers dropped yet another game, this time coming in a back-to-back fashion against the Washington Capitals, and losing 5-2. So let's start getting over and going over some key things. So going into the game, Craig McKegg got a healthy scratch and Brendan Lemieux slotted in for him on the third line. Chris Kreider was slotted up to the first line, and Pavel Buchnevich was slid down to the second line. The defensive pairs were flip-flopped, and Henrik Lundqvist started. So all of these changes were meant to find any chemistry or just create more offensive chances. And they really kind of got some of the same outcomes, even though they played a better game than they did against the Devils, but it still came as a loss, and they got into a lot of penalty trouble, and you can't get into penalty trouble with the Capitals because they'll make you pay with all their dynamic players on the power play. And also going into it, John Carlson was a second in the NHL in assists with 14, and he upped the ante, and he's up to 16 now, and he's second in the NHL in scoring, only behind Connor McDavid. So John Carlson is off to an amazing start, and Ovechkin is still scoring at a high pace. So going into it, those were key points that the Capitals are still an amazing team. And also it was fitting that the National League champions Washington Nationals were at the game, and Max Scherzer dropped the ceremonial first puck, but instead of dropping a hockey puck, he dropped a baseball, which I thought was kind of interesting, and Sam Rosen got a kick out of it, and that was funny. So starting the game, it was Holtby versus Lundqvist as far as netminders are concerned. And in the first period, it was kind of a foreshadowing for the whole night. The Rangers took an early penalty. Artemi Panarin was caught covering for the defenseman, and he took a slash, and there's a power play for the Capitals. Hank made some really big saves, but then TJ Oshie had a lot of cracks at it, like 2-3 saves on Lundqvist, like literally right out front on a nice pass from Nick Backstrom, and Stoll actually kicked it in. So unfortunate power play goal for the Capitals. They were up. And then soon after, at the 15-19 minute mark, Brendan Lemieux and Radko Gudas got into a fight after a heavy hit from Brendan Lemieux, and Lemieux wrestled Gudas down to the ice. So Brendan is showing his presence, and he's going to play physical, and when he's in the lineup, he's going to play hard, and he showed that today. And he had some pretty good offensive scoring chances on deflections and such, but he couldn't come through. But he's a key player that I think should never, ever be healthy scratched ever. Then another key point soon after that, Michael Kempany, in his first game back from injury, he got hurt last year. It was either later on this season or early in the postseason. I know he got hurt later on, and that kind of hurt Washington's playoff chances in Stanley Cup playoffs. But he was huge. He came back, he had a nice game. But here he took an interference penalty, and the power play had to be a focal point for the Rangers, but it didn't come through here, and they didn't do anything. Also, Ovechkin showed his ability to dance around defensemen when it seemed like Brady Shea had him all closed up. He did a little dangle shot and a shot around him, and that's something that we see Ovechkin do a lot from time to time, and he was able to come through, but it was still an amazing save by Henrik Lundqvist. And then also, soon enough, Nick Backstrom took a tripping penalty, and that led the second chance for the New York Rangers on the power play with 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in the period. And Mika Zibanejad entered the zone and went to the wide side, or the right side of the ice. He went all the way down, and then he went around the defenseman and curled a pass to Pavel Buchnevich right in the high slot, who skated until he caught Braden Holtby out of position, who came out far to challenge the shot, and Buchnevich buried it past a diving Holtby, and that's how the Rangers tied it up, and their power play came through, and it was Pavel Buchnevich's first goal of the year. And the scoring on that play went Pavel Buchnevich from Mika Zibanejad and Jacob Trouba. Soon after that, Evgeny Kuznetsov, fresh off his suspension, he was found wide open and he attempted a pass, but it was blocked, and that was a huge break for the Rangers in that point. And then after that, at the 4:30 mark, there was a D-zone turnover by the Rangers. It went back to the point, and a shot came through, and from the left point, Michael Kempany, he was following up the play, and he banged home the rebounds. That was in his first game back from injury. He scored for the Caps. Now they're up 2-1, and it was Kempany from Ovi and John Carlson. Then with 3:37 left, there was an O-zone penalty on Chris Kreider, and no good. You can't have that. It was a knee hit, trips up defenseman Nick Jensen, but somehow they killed it after really good zone time by the Capitals, and the period ended with the Rangers actually leading in shots 12-9 with the score of 2-1 Capitals. In the second, nothing much going on initially, but at the 16-15 second mark, Orlov hits the post, but Nick Dab comes up and buries the rebound from the slot. It was the checking line that was out against the Mika line following a strong fourth line shift by the Rangers, but nonetheless it made the Capitals go up 3-1. Hank kept the Rangers in it all night. He made a diving glove save on Garnet Hathaway soon after. That should have been a sure goal. There was a breakaway pass for Vrana, and Shea slashed him, and it really looked like a penalty. It was stick on stick. A common theme is I'm seeing that the referees are calling everything that seems close to a penalty, and are very lenient in stuff that they call because they want more offense, I guess, or that's what the league's going for. And that was at the 9:44 mark. It was actually called a penalty shot, and Vrana came in, and Lundqvist stuck out the pads and made a good save, and it made them stay alive. And it took over half of the second period for the Rangers to get their first shot in the period. However, they almost scored with a big flurry halfway in, and Pavel Buchnevich made a nice move and shot. There's a scramble for it and shots going off, but Holtby was able to cover it after some chaos in front. Then at the 6:44 mark, Radko Gudas tripped up Brendan Smith going into the O-zone, and it was a big opportunity for the Rangers to come back on the power play. But however, there's a PK. The only good part of it was there was a breakaway for Dmitry Orlov, defenseman. It was a save, and they didn't do anything on the power play. So again, the only thing of note on the power play was actually a shorthanded opportunity for the Capitals, this time being a defenseman, Orlov. And then at the 3:04 mark, an amazing goal happened. There was a great keep in by Mika, and he did a drop pass to Artemi Panarin, and Panarin skated down the left side and slid a pass to Kreider, who was already in the offensive zone right next to him. And then Panarin went to the far side of the net, and Kreider sent him a beautiful cross-crease pass, and he tapped it in, making it a 3-2 for a nice give-and-go cross-crease. And a key point on that play was Libor Hayek, who was showing he belongs in the NHL by doing an amazing keep-in, by jumping up and giving it to Zibanejad. and that goal was Panarin from Kreider, and Zibanejad. Artemi gets his third of the year. And then soon after, Hank made a huge save on TJ Oshie. It was a sign that it was a huge second period for Lundqvist. Even though he let in a goal, he cut the Rangers in it, and it was 3-2 going into the third, and the shots were 18-25 in favor of the Caps. In the third period, some notes I was noticing all game long that Jacob Vrana was on display all night. That guy can really skate, and he created opportunities left and right. And because Zibanejad's two-way game was also evident, he was on the ice in all situations as he always is, but this time I noticed him breaking off more defensive plays, coming up and covering and going back when defensemen pinched in and making really good plays. He's not a liability. That's what you have to have in your top center. He's amazing in all zones of the ice, and we're really seeing him flourish as a Ranger, and he should be our captain soon to come. And they ran 5 defensemen in the third period and sat Tony DeAngelo. I don't know if that's a sign to come that he may be healthy scratch, but he's been pretty good. Must be another behavioral thing. Maybe he mouthed off to Quinn or something, because he's had behavior issues that are well documented in the past, but he's a good player. You just gotta stop getting in his own way. And also Hank stood tall despite own deflection on goal by Buchnevich, and he was able to keep the Rangers in it going throughout the third. And there was a fight at the 10:40 mark with Smith and Hathaway, and Smith actually made Hathaway's a little bloody. He punched him in the nose, and his nose started bleeding. So that was a good way to show Smith wants to stay in the NHL and play on this team and contribute. And also, John Carlson factored into more offensive scoring, and it was a result of a power play goal. Somehow, Brendan Smith got charged with an extra penalty on that play. I don't know how it happened. It seemed like they just both went to go fight each other, and Smith got an extra minor penalty. And Washington had a power play, and they were able to get it out to the point Carlson sent in a shot, and Oshie deflected it. And TJ Oshie was also very noticeable in this game. He broke up a lot of plays for the Rangers, and he was all there on the offense. At the 8:18 mark, Jacob Trouba was slashed. This was the Rangers' huge power play opportunity to get back into it and make it a 1-goal game, but they were not able to. They were 1 for 4 on the power play. All right, and as I was saying, and then on that particular penalty kill, Lias Andersson was along the boards, tied up by 2 Capital players, and he was able to slide the puck out to Foss, and he got a nice one-timer shot off, but Holtby saved it, and that ended off the power play for the Capitals late in the game, and they went 2 for 4 on the power play. But then the Rangers got the extra attacker out for 6-on-5 play at the 2:10 mark, and they had a lot of offensive zone time, but no scoring. And then with about 30 seconds left, Hathaway got a lead pass from Hagelin, and he scored the empty netter, making the Capitals go up 5-2, ending it for the Rangers. And then the final shots were Rangers 28, Washington 34. It's a 5-2 loss. The Rangers need offense from their other lines, not just their top line. They're a third straight loss, and the offensive inabilities from the other lines is evident. It can't not always be Mika and Artemi Panarin and Jake Trouba. So we need more from our other lines, and they have a shot to do that on Sunday against the Vancouver Canucks for a 1 o'clock game, and I'll be actually in attendance for that game. It'll be my first Ranger game this year, and I'm excited for that. And I'll be doing some video clips from that game, some reaction, and then a recap after that here. And I'm looking forward to it, seeing JT Miller come back as a Canuck for the first time, and seeing Jack Hughes' older brother, Quinn Hughes, play, who's a defenseman. So that'll be very interesting. Thanks again for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and see you later.